All right, let's get into Thursday night football. We got the Saints and the Cardinals playing. Both teams a little bit banged up. Who do you like in the captain spot?
I'm going with Chris Olave here. I think there's a ton of options in this game, especially on the Cardinals side. Like DeAndre Hopkins, Rondale Moore, Zach Ertz should all command targets, but they all sort of lower each other's ceiling. Whereas Olave has the clearest path to a ceiling game here. The Saints are going to be without Michael Thomas, Jarvis Landry again. So I just think Olave has a ton of upside here, and he's my top captain play.
Yeah, I love Olave this week. I think he's inside my top 20 wide receivers. I'll go with Alvin Kamara though. I think
Oh yeah.
he looks like he's finally back. Over that rib issue, and I look at this Cardinal defense, and they're number 32 in DVOA on passes to running back. So this could be a big week for Kamara catching the ball out of the backfield, and he's been running a route on about 60% of the dropbacks, about 2/3 of the dropbacks, which is very good for a running back. So love me some Alvin Kamara this week. I think they kind of lean on him in this spot.
Yeah, that's a great call. He was the guy who was leaning to, but the one concern with him is these Taysom Hill packages, man.
Yeah.
Especially around the goal line, they kind of sap Kamara's touchdown upside, but he is due. He is due for a big game, so I do like him in the captain slot as well.
All right. Who do you like for some dart throws?
So on the Cardinals side, I'm going to throw out Keontae Ingram,
Mm-hmm.
just because it looks like James Conner and Darrell Williams. I don't know, they're shaping up to be out again this week, and even Benjamin picked up a foot injury. He was already limited in practice. I think he'll play and he'll probably be the lead back again this week. But he struggled against the Seahawks as the lead back. He only rushed 15 times for 37 yards. So I would not be surprised if they get Ingram a bit more involved here. He only ran 3 times last week for 7 yards, but I was surprised to see him fall to the 6th round. I thought he was pretty talented coming out of USC. I'm usually pretty biased to all Trojan players, but he reminded me a bit of Kareem Hunt, and he flashed that in preseason. So I would not be surprised if this game they get him some more work. So I think he's the perfect kind of like dart throw in a showdown slate. And I doubt he's going to be rostered more than 5% of teams. So I like Ingram here, pending all the injury news for the Cardinals backs. And then on the Saints side, I don't know if you can consider him a dart throw, but I'm going to go Juwan Johnson. Just with Michael Thomas, Jarvis Landry out. And now it looks like Adam Troutman could miss this game and potentially beyond that. But Johnson's sort of a hybrid wide receiver tight end. So, he's been stepping up. He had an 81% route participation last week. So he should be, a top 2 or 3 target in this game. So I think he's a great cheap play.
Yeah, those are the two guys I had as well. I think Ingram.
Oh, you had Ingram as well?
Yeah, Ingram's $400 on DraftKings. So I mean,
Oh, man.
there's a possibility you get a starting running back for that price. That would be really good. And yeah, I think Johnson, his routes run spiked last week, and this Cardinal team is 29th in DVOA against tight end, so it is a good matchup for him as well. But as far as other guys, I'll throw out, AJ Green is still running a route about 60 to 70% of the time. Obviously check what's going to happen with Robbie Anderson, but if Anderson's not active or something like that, I think Green is in play here. He's only 2,800 on DraftKings. And for the Saints, JP Holtz is getting more and more involved, it seems like, in terms of his routes run. And if Troutman's out, Holtz could see a route on about 20 to 30% or more. So on a small slate like this, you never know. He could catch a couple passes, maybe get a play action touchdown or something like that. So he's another guy.
Yeah, like that call. And we just have to talk about it. But what are you thinking with Taysom Hill here? He's not priced too high, but what do you think his rostership percentage is? And just based on his, massive ceiling, is he worth being overweight on, or should we be fading him here? What are you thinking?
Oof, that's tough. Yeah, he's like 7,200. I mean, it's tough for me to be like too invested because he's only 200 cheaper than Olave. And Olave, I mean, I have him as a top 20 wide receiver. As Taysom, he's kind of in that tight end 15 range. But I will say this, you kind of mentioned it. He could be a vulture on Kamara. So I think the best way to use him is probably in lineups that you don't use Kamara. Like if you're gonna fade Kamara, I think Taysom would be a logical guy that you even put him in the captain spot, because I mean,
You're right.
he could get 2 touchdowns, like you said. He's been getting a lot of work down near the goal line, and they have that package for him. So, well, what do you think?
No, as you were talking, I was kind of arriving at the same conclusions. I just think you just go all in possibly and use them in the captain slot. But like you said, you probably don't want Taysom and Kamara in the same lineups just because there's such a reverse correlation there. But I think you hit the nail on the head with that. I think he's probably going to be over rostered, but you really, in a 1-game slate like this, you just have to have exposure to him. You have to he has a massive ceiling. I'm guessing Jameis will be out again this week. I think if it's Andy Dalton under center again, I think they're going to continue to use Taysom Hill, maybe even more here. So I just think you just have to have exposure to him here for sure.
Yeah, he's had a red zone rush attempt in 4 of the 5 games that he's played. So, yeah.
And did he get a red zone target, or he got like a target near the end zone? I'll have to double check. He still doesn't have a catch on the season.
Yeah,
it's going to happen at some point. We know that. But yeah, I think he had a target this week, very close to the end zone. Again, don't quote me, but I believe that
it wasn't in red zone. So because I'm looking at it might have been like a longer pass or something. I don't know. I'll go back and watch it. All right, let's see. And no fullbacks on this slate. So
no Adam Prentice or something.
Nah, he's gone. It's Holtz is kind of the guy they're using, but he's still listed as a tight end.